My name's Logan Hart, 49, a home energy contractor in Temecula, California. I spend my days on rooftops, wiring panels that turn harsh sun into something useful. Simple math. Predictable payoff. I used to think marriage could be wired the same way. If you show up, keep the lights on, and love your family, it all stays bright. That Tuesday didn't feel bright. Our daughter, Maya, 15, had her noise-canceling headphones on, drawing cathedral-level floor plans with a focus that made strangers think gifted and made the world think different. We don't say less. We say routines, schedules, familiar sounds, her anchors. Tuesdays and Thursdays were Dr. Renee Collins at 4 p.m., a standing appointment we treated like oxygen. My wife, no, the woman I was married to, Sabrina Wells, was at the kitchen table with a half-empty glass of Merlot and a stack of printouts. She didn't look angry. She looked decided. "We need to talk," she said. I set my tool bag down and took the chair across from her. The pages were face down, like cards waiting for a dealer who already knows the ending. "I'm not happy," she said. "I haven't been. I want to feel alive again, to be wanted, pursued." "What are you asking me for exactly?" I kept my voice level. "An open marriage. Temporary. A few months." She swallowed. "I met someone who understands. Trevor. He's 38, divorced. We met after my Pilates class." The word hit my chest like rebar. "So you're not asking. You're notifying." "I'm being honest," she said. "I respect you." Respect. The kind of respect that comes right before you move a ring to your right hand and tell yourself you're still a good person. "And Maya?" I asked. "Her routines don't bend. Disruption isn't a mood for her. It's a storm." "She doesn't have to know," Sabrina said. "We'll be discreet. There's a version of me, the older version, that would have begged, bargained, thrown heart language at the fire and hoped it didn't burn. That version took a long breath and sat perfectly still. "Conditions," I said. "If you do this, not in our home, never during Maya's therapies or care. Full transparency. Where, when, how you'll be back. 90-day review. And if it hurts Maya, it ends." She nodded too quickly. "Fair." She thought I was capitulating. I was calibrating. That night, like a man measuring current through a line, I realized something simple. Sabrina wanted novelty more than she wanted a marriage. The person I had to protect wasn't my pride. It was Maya's world, silent, precise, easily shattered. Revenge, I decided, would not be loud. It would be legal. It would be ethical. And it would be certain. At 5 a.m., Maya found me in the garage. "You weren't in bed," she said. Her sentences come unvarnished, truth without padding. "Working out a problem," I said. "Did you sleep?" Mom was clanking cabinets. It made my rhythm go crooked. "Sorry, kiddo." I hug her gently. Light pressure, 10 seconds, the way she prefers. "I won't let your rhythm get crooked." I meant it like an oath. If you want to understand a person, don't listen to their speeches. Watch their calendars. The first crack came on a Thursday. Sabrina was supposed to drive Maya to Dr. Collins. At 5:12 p.m., my phone buzzed. Maya, precise as a metronome. "Dad, I'm still here." I left a rooftop mid-install and drove 45 minutes with my hazard lights blinking truth all the way down the I-15. Sabrina's phone went straight to voicemail. When I reached the clinic, Dr. Collins gave me the look professionals reserve for parents who are trying to be brave. "Is everything okay at home?" she asked. "It will be," I said. A promise to her. A warning to myself. The next week, Sabrina was 20 minutes late for pickup. The week after, she missed a pediatric check because lunch ran over. Lunch looked a lot like Trevor's car in a dim parking lot. Desire isn't evil. It's a current. If you ignore where it flows, you burn the house down. Sabrina didn't just want to be wanted. She wanted to forget she was anyone's anchor. She started buying dresses that weren't her, lipstick a shade louder than her usual, and a new perfume that made the kitchen smell like a department store on payday. I started a log. Not a jealous husband's diary. An installer's job record. Dates, times, missed sessions, exact quotes. In my line of work, if it isn't documented, it didn't happen. I carried a tiny recorder I usually use for site notes. When voices bled through the wall between the garage and kitchen, I pressed record. One night, she whispered in her phone, "Sometimes I feel like Maya is the thing between me and happiness. I love her, but I can't keep letting her needs control my life." My hand tightened around the tool I was holding. You can love someone and still betray them. It's one of the ugliest human truths. At dinner, I tried for normal. Maya wants normal like a pilot wants a clear horizon. We cooked turkey tacos, measured spices the way she likes, quarter teaspoons lined up like soldiers. She told me about a new drawing, an auditorium with perfect acoustics. So people don't cover their ears, she said, and smiled. Sabrina texted she'd be late. Mom's on a different schedule, Maya said. More observation than complaint. Your schedule is the one that matters, I told her. Later that week, looking up insurance claims on our shared laptop, I found a browser tab left open. Silver Ridge Residential Center. Smiling stock photos. Words like freedom for families and structure for complex cases. PDF sat in the downloads folder, and one form already had our last name typed in the first box. I read the brochure twice, then called for a full packet to evaluate resources for my daughter. The overnight envelope landed with a thud. Buried in the admissions app were fields Sabrina had already filled. Severe behavioral episodes. Unsafe at home. Family overwhelmed. None of it matched reality. The next conversation didn't happen in whispers. You applied to send Maya away. I asked when she came home. Heels in her hand. Hair salon fresh. Trevor's cologne ghosting the air around her. I'm exploring options, she said. Plenty of kids thrive in structured environments. Maya thrives here. With us. With routines you're breaking. Sabrina's face hardened. Do you know what 15 years of therapy appointments feels like? What it's like to never have a life past someone else's needs. Say it into the recorder, I said in my head, and pressed the button in my pocket. Aloud, I said, then say what you want. I want to be free, she said, finally honest. Trevor says I've given enough of myself. There it was, the script she'd been handed and the line she wanted to keep. I called Daniel Pierce, a quiet, fierce family lawyer I'd played JV basketball within another lifetime. In his office, I slid the binder across the desk. Dates, missed appointments, audio transcriptions, the Silver Ridge application. This is thorough, he said, scanning. You weren't guessing at a plan. I wire systems that fail safe, I said. I'm doing the same here. You have grounds for full custody, Daniel said. But don't file before you're ready to protect Maya from the blowback. I nodded. I'm ready. I also upgraded our home security. Smart locks, camera detectors disguised as standard smoke alarms. I told Sabrina it was for safety. It was just not the kind she imagined. The cameras captured what I already knew. Sabrina inviting Trevor in during Maya's therapy hour. 2 glasses on our kitchen island. Their voices soft but careless. Trevor, once she's placed, you can move in with me. No more scheduled meltdowns. Sabrina, I'm so tired of pretending I can handle it. Tuesday brought the kind of storm Maya fears. A missed prescription refill. Sabrina's task triggered an anxiety spiral. Rocking. Sobs. The kind of tremor that demands routine, pressure, quiet. Sabrina shouted through Maya's door. This is why you need professionals. Loud enough for the camera, too loud for my daughter's nervous system. I took over. Weighted blanket, slow count, her favorite playlist, piano with no lyrics. Like most storms, it broke when it realized it wasn't going to win. When Maya finally settled and drew a perfect spiral in her notebook, away her mind files, I made it. I kissed her hair and made hot chocolate the way she likes. Tiny marshmallows counted by 5s. That night, while Sabrina dressed for dinner, I set a letter on the counter. 90-day review moved up. Bullet points. Miscare. False statements to a residential facility. New rule. Any further neglect, and the open contract is canceled. She read it and laughed without humor. Are you going to punish me, Logan? I'm going to protect Maya, I said. Whatever that asks of me. She rolled her eyes, grabbed her clutch, and left with a half-blow kiss that never landed. The next move wasn't loud. It was a guardian petition draft, ready to file. Daniel coached me on what to gather next. Attendance logs, therapist statements, pharmacy records confirming lapses, and, if it came to it, testimony from Linda and Charles Wells, Sabrina's parents who still adored Maya and wanted to believe the best about their daughter. When Linda and Charles dropped by Saturday unannounced, I didn't hide anything. Sabrina tried to minimize. We're researching options. Logan's overreacting. I opened the laptop, pulled up the already submitted application. Linda read the phrase, unsafe at home, and physically stepped back, one hand her chest. Is that how you described our granddaughter? Charles asked, voice low and flat. It's how you get approved, Sabrina said, and for the first time, I watched her parents see her clearly. We're taking Maya to our place tonight, Linda said. She needs quiet. You can't just, Sabrina started. You've done enough can't justs, Charles said. Maya packed her weighted blanket and the sketch she'd been working on, a house with thicker walls. That evening the kitchen felt cavernous. Sabrina sat at the island, scrolling her phone like it owed her a life. So what's your plan? Divorce, I said calmly. In full custody, with supervised visits until the court decides you understand what parenting actually means. Sabrina set her phone down. You think a judge will reward you for trying to control me? I think a judge will look at a log, I said, tapping the binder, and listen to your voice. For the first time since her announcement, fear flickered in her eyes. Not heartbreak, not regret. Fear at consequences, not at what she'd done. Judge Helena Ruiz ran a tight courtroom. No theatrics, just facts. Daniel laid out the timeline with surgical calm. Missed therapies, pharmacy gaps, video clips showing Trevor in our kitchen during Maya's appointments. Audio, where Sabrina called our daughter an obstacle to her happiness. The Silver Ridge application with exaggerated claims. Sabrina's attorney argued context, stress, an overwhelmed mother exploring long-term support. The judge listened, then asked Sabrina to stand. Ms. Wells, did you submit false medical descriptions to a residential facility? Judge Ruiz's voice didn't rise. It had the gravity of a stone. Sabrina's eyes glossed. People do what they must to get help. That's not an answer. The judge folded her hands. This court values honesty more than performance. Mr. Hart, your documentation is precise. Dr. Collins corroborates. Ms. Wells, the evidence suggests impairment of judgment and neglectful decision-making. Linda cried quietly in the gallery. Charles sat like a man bracing for an aftershock. Judge Ruiz delivered orders like a builder reading specs. Full legal and physical custody to me. Supervised visitation for Sabrina, twice monthly pending completion of parenting classes and individual counseling. No third-party contact with Maya, without court permission, and no contact with Trevor in proximity to our daughter. Some revenges explode. Mine exhaled. The gavel sounded like a door clicking shut on a room that never should have been open. Outside, Sabrina grabbed my arm. We can fix this. I'll stop seeing Trevor. This wasn't about Trevor, I said, stepping back. It was about the way you looked at our child and saw a complication. Courts can write orders. Character writes the rest. I picked Maya up from Linda and Charles's that evening. She hugged me. 10 seconds, just like always, but tighter. Home, she asked. Home, I said. We rebuilt routines from the studs up. Mornings were oatmeal and checklists taped to the fridge. Afternoons, sketching and walks at the same trail, same time, so the Hawks felt like friends. I added a small drafting table to my workshop. Maya map panel arrays better than half my new hires. We laugh more, small laughs, the kind that keep the air moving. Sabrina texted excuses for 2 of her first 4 supervised visits. Car trouble. Work emergency. Maya stopped checking the time. One evening, while we were sorting screws by size, her favorite, she said, I'm glad the house is quiet. Me too, I said. Quiet isn't empty, she added, eyes on the little silver piles. Quiet is ordered. That became our new language. Not silence, order. Not control, care. 6 months after the ruling, the sun over the valley seemed to burn cleaner. Business picked up, neighbors talk, and apparently decency is good marketing. But it wasn't just work. It was the house itself, finally humming at a frequency my daughter could live in. Sabrina's storyline with Trevor collapsed quickly. He liked the chase, not the reality. She called me one night, voice frayed. I messed up. I hope you figure yourself out, I said, honest and uncruel. Maya's not a detour. She's the road. Do you hate me? She asked. I don't spend time on hate, I said. I spend it on our daughter. What did revenge look like in the end? Not a ruined life or a drag reputation. That would have felt good for 15 minutes and cost us both a decade. Revenge looked like truth on record, like boundaries that hold, like a child whose routine no one can ransom for their thrill. It looked like the night I took Maya to the community center for a small exhibition of student art, and she stood next to her frame plans for a library and whispered, "They're looking, and I'm okay. Want to go for ice cream?" I asked after. "I want to go home," she said, "and draw the next room." We did. I brewed chamomile while she drafted a mezzanine. She showed me a staircase she'd designed, wider, with shallower steps. "For people who get overwhelmed," she said. "They can sit down wherever they need." "That's beautiful," I told her. "That's you." She looked up. "Are you happy?" I thought about roofs and judges and a kitchen that no longer smelled like someone else's perfume. I thought about a daughter who now fell asleep without flinching at cabinet doors. "I am," I said. "Truly." Here's what I learned, and what I hope the people who listen to our story hear. Love is not a feeling you chase when you're bored. It's a structure you maintain. It's sometimes unglamorous, sockets and screws and the gentle 10-second hugs that anchor a person. And if someone decides your family is an obstacle to their appetite, you don't burn their life down. You build yours so well that the smoke has nowhere to stick. The last page of my binder, the one that started as a ledger of wrongs, now holds different lines. Maya slept through the night. No missed appointments. New drawing. Auditorium with perfect acoustics. We're okay. I shut the workshop lights, and the house stayed bright anyway. Not the showy bright of chandeliers. The steady kind. The kind that says home, that says ordered, that says we are safe. And if that's not the most satisfying ending, I don't know what is.